Negligence duty, just the rule scripts. Duty. Everyone has a duty to act as a reasonably prudent person in the same or similar circumstances. Remember, we are going to analyze duty for each potential tortfeasor. Okay, negligence requires a showing of duty, breach, causation, and damages. All right, duty. Everyone has a duty to act as a reasonably prudent person in the same or similar circumstances. Next, we're going to do no duty to act. Generally, a person does not possess a duty to act unless they have a special relationship, voluntarily undertakes the rescue, created the danger, or the statute imposed a duty. Okay, our number one duty standard is everyone has a duty to act as a reasonably prudent person in the same or similar circumstances. If in the facts we see a special relationship, what is that? It is usually a fiduciary relationship, parent-child, employer-employee, innkeeper-guest, common carrier-passenger, bailor-bailee, jailer. If you see a special relationship in the facts, give us your no duty to act rule. No duty to act unless special relationship. And then we say what it is: parent-child, employer-employee, innkeeper-guest, and common carrier-passenger, bailor-bailee. Okay. I have seen common carrier and passenger tested, bailor-bailee, and I have seen innkeeper-guest tested. No duty to act unless, in the facts we see, special relationship. Do we see a rescue in the relationship? Then our no duty to act script reads like this. Generally, a person has no duty to act unless they voluntarily undertake a rescue. Okay. Remember, if you voluntarily undertake a rescue, you have a duty to rescue reasonably and not make more perilous for place the plaintiff in greater peril. Okay, you see that the defendant created the danger. Our no duty to act script reads, generally, there is no duty to act unless the defendant created the danger. And finally, the law imposes a duty to act. That's pretty rare. Okay, no duty to act is going to be special relationship, voluntarily undertakes rescue, or created the danger. Next, we're going to do standards of care. All right. Basic duty rule: if you see a special relationship, a rescue, or creation of the danger, we do our no duty to act script. Otherwise, we're going to skip right down to standards of care. An adult standard of reasonable care applies to all persons unless they are and then we're going to say who that person is: a child, a similar child of like age, experience, intelligence, and education, unless what? Oh, that's right, adult activity. A disabled person with that physical impairment. Remember, mental disabilities don't count. A professional, standing professional, good standing in the same or similar community. Now, here's our sub rule about professionals. We have our physician. He didn't get informed consent. He's judged by the standard of what that's right, reasonable patient would want to know. And then we have our people with special knowledge, skills, or expertise who are judged as a like person with that knowledge, skill, or expertise. Okay, you'd think this is just car mechanics, but it's also something like someone who knows this road always floods. I've seen that on the MBE. And finally, acting in an emergency. What would a reasonable person do in that emergency? Unless what? Oh yes, the defendant created the danger. Okay, negligence. Basic duty rule: if we see special relationship, a rescue, or someone creates the danger, no duty to act unless. Now we look at our standards of care. A child, similar child of like age, experience, intelligence, and education, unless what? engaged in an adult activity. Disabled person, a reasonable person with that physical impairment. Age doesn't count. Mental disabilities don't count. It's always a physical impairment. And the duty of a professional in, that's right, good standing in the same, that's right, or the similar community. But a physician that didn't get informed consent is judged by what? What a reasonable patient would want to know. Special knowledge, skills, or expertise, judged as a similar person with that special knowledge, skill, or expertise, and acting in an emergency. Okay, child, disabled, professional, special knowledge, acting in emergency. So, script 1, general duty rule. Script 2, we see a special relationship, a rescue, or the danger, no duty to act unless. Then, standard of care. Do we see a landowner in the facts? Then we go into our landowner duties. Landowners. The standard of care, here's our rule script. The standard of care depends upon the status of the plaintiff. The status of the plaintiff. There is no duty to warn of open or obvious dangers. Okay, so the standard of care depends upon the status of the plaintiff. That's our rule script. Now we go into what kind it is. Unknown trespasser or a flagrant trespasser? That's right, no duty. A known trespasser, you know the person is trespassing. You have a duty to warn of man-made dangers, never natural conditions. Known trespasser, man-made dangers. Child trespasser, we get the attractive nuisance doctrine. We're going to get to that last. But licensee is who? Someone you like, a social guest. They're on the land with the owner's, that's right, permission. A licensee is a person on the land with the owner's permission. So what's the duty? To warn and make safe known, non-obvious conditions on the land. Licensee, on land with owner's permission. Duty to, that's right, warn and make safe what kind of dangers? Known and non-obvious conditions on the land. Okay, our invitee, highest degree of care. A person is on the land for the owner's benefit, or the land is open to the public. Duty to warn, inspect, and make safe. Duty to warn, inspect, and make safe any known danger or danger that could be found with reasonable inspection. They have the duty to warn, the duty to inspect, and the duty to make safe. Okay, unknown or flagrant trespasser, no duty. Known trespasser, duty to, that's right, warn of man-made dangers, never natural conditions. Licensee, who's a licensee? They're a person on the land with the owner's permission. And the landowner has the duty to warn and make safe. Warn and make safe known, non-obvious conditions on the land. If it is open and obvious, we do not need to know. We do not need to warn. If grandpa is at son's home and grandkids' toys are everywhere, that is an obvious danger. That was an MEE question too. An invitee is a person on the land for the owner's benefit, and the land is open to the public. And so they have the highest duty to, 1, warn, 2, make safe, and inspect. Warn, inspect, and make safe. Okay, let's talk about a child trespasser, the attractive nuisance doctrine. The landowner knows of an artificial condition on the land. The landowner knows children are likely to trespass. The condition poses a threat. The child is unlikely to appreciate the risk. And finally, BPL, the burden of taking precautions is low in relation to the risk. Okay, the attractive nuisance doctrine. What does the landowner know? That's right, of an artificial condition on the land. And he also knows that children are likely to trespass. What does the condition pose? It poses a threat of death or bodily harm. How about the child? That's right, they are unlikely to appreciate the risk. And finally, the burden of taking precautions is low in relation to the risk. There are 6 elements to the attractive nuisance doctrine. What does the landowner know? 1, artificial condition on the land. 2, children are likely to trespass. How about the condition? 3, condition poses a threat of death or serious bodily harm. 4, what about the child? Unlikely to appreciate the risk. And finally, what about the burden? Burden of taking precautions low in relation to risk, BPL. Okay, so a couple other things and then we're done. We know that in a common area, the landlord has the duty to maintain the common areas and make reasonable repairs. If we've got, we know the firefighter rule. Firefighters and public safety officials have no right to sue in negligence because assumption of the risk. And then what about our guest statute? If the jurisdiction has a guest statute, what does that mean? The passenger in the owner's car has no right to sue. No right to sue unless the driver is grossly negligent. Okay, quick. Duty. Everyone has a duty to act as a reasonably prudent person in the same or similar circumstances. No duty to act unless 1, special relationship, 2, voluntarily rescues, 3, created the danger or a statute imposes a duty. Standards of care. The adult standard of due care applies to all unless child, like age, experience, intelligence, education, unless what? Adult activity. Disabled, physical impairment. Professional, good standing in same or similar community. But what about if they didn't get informed consent? They're judged by what a reasonable patient would want to know. Special knowledge, skills, or expertise, acting in emergency. Okay, landowners to people on their land. Unknown flagrant trespasser. That's right, no duty. Known trespasser. Duty to warn of. That's right, man-made dangers. Never natural conditions. Licensee is a person on the land with the owner's permission, and we have the duty to warn and make safe known and what? Non-obvious. Remember the toys, conditions on the land. An invitee is a person on the land for the owner's benefit, or the land is open to the public. And we have the duty to warn, inspect, and make safe. Finally, we have attractive nuisance. What does the landowner know? 1, artificial condition on the land. What else does the landowner know? Children are likely to trespass. What about the condition? That's right, poses a threat of death or serious bodily harm. What about the child? They're unlikely to appreciate the risk. And finally, the burden is low in relation to the risk. And that's it.